Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Anecdotal Economist, and today we're going to talk about why gold is going to go up, despite the fact that inflation is going down, and I'm going to use some historical suggestive evidence. Let's do it. I got in a nice, big gold order. Okay, that didn't come out the way I thought it would. That's where it comes from. Here, pick it up, feel it, tell me what you think. No other mint has this issue.
The triangle has replaced the British pound.
Like little trading cards.
That's a naughty word. We never rob. We just sort of borrow a bit from those who can afford it.
All right, so we're going to be talking about gold today, and we are going to need to have some diamond hands moving forward. We need to be like apes to make it through it. Now, I don't like this whole ape thing necessarily because I think that means, being stupid, acting like an ape and just holding on no matter what. That's not how I do it, but I sympathize because sometimes you need to just turn it off and make sure you hold on. We're going to show some charts here. Just keep in mind that history doesn't repeat, but it does often rhyme. And I know many of you will have heard that before, but it's important to keep that in mind because we're going to look back at history to try to predict what's about to happen. Some crazy things are going on. We're going to go all the way back to 2008. So here we are taking a look at a gold chart in the yellow. And we're going to go all the way back to 2008. See my crosshairs here? That's where I'm looking. And I'm going to zoom in. I want to get to about a 5-year chart. If I go right about here, 2007, you can see this is where the financial crisis was about to happen. And what you'll notice is that gold isn't really doing anything that exciting. It was just sort of going up. Silver looks almost perfect. In fact, if I move gold down, in some spots, it looks like a perfect overlay, but you'll notice silver does just tend to always underperform until at the peak in 2011, silver was a blow-off top. So when silver starts trending way up, well, that'll be a sign to me that we're getting close to the top of this particular cycle. Well, I can tell you, I don't think we're anywhere near there yet. And I think most of you would agree with me. But looking at this chart, if you only looked at gold and you couldn't see the years, again, I'm hovering over 2008 right now, you would have a really hard time picking when this financial crisis happened. See, during the financial crisis, you would have a hard time picking out when this recession actually happened. When we look at when it started, I believe it was September. So I'm just going to jump into September here. June, July, August, September. What you'll notice is gold actually went down a little bit just before and even a little bit after, and then it started taking off. And keep in mind, during this time, we had very little inflation. We had banks collapsing. We had a huge decrease in credit. The money pumping didn't really kick in properly until a little bit after. The government's always late. And even then, it didn't really seem to have an effect. I mean, if you look at it, you can't tell when it happened. We do get, though, the classical sell-off, right? There's a little bit of a sell-off, and it was actually sort of a leading indicator. And then, I don't know if I'd call this an explosion higher, but to go from around $700 is what the low looks to be here, all the way up to, I've got 1850 on this chart. So, I mean, it depends how much you want to zoom in. I think this is just week to week. So the highest week was 1850 back then. That's a pretty good increase, right? More than double. And so I guess what I'm saying is, I believe we're about to move into a type of recession. I don't think it matters who the president is. At this point, it's too late in the game, kind of baked into the cake, as it were. So you need to look at a lot of different indicators in order to try to figure out if that's the case or not. You don't have to believe me. There's all kinds of reasons I think this, and I could be wrong. But if I'm right, and we go into this sort of deflationary, banks collapsing, businesses closing type of scenario, which will be devastating and horrible, I expect gold to perform well. But look, there will be opportunities and pullbacks along the way. And, well, let's put it this way. I plan to take advantage of those pullbacks. See, even in the run-up in 2008, pullbacks still happened. You had opportunities to buy in. What you don't want to do is buy right at the top and then spend the next 5 years suffering through. Now, maybe you're okay with that. It depends on your circumstances, but I would prefer not to buy during that period. And so as we move into this shift where we have a rapid increase in prices, which it seems like we're kind of there. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but gold's been going up just like it did in 2007. So I would expect that we could be moving into a small pullback and then maybe off to the races. Not a guarantee, But because of that, I need to look at the way I trade differently, and I will continue to update the way I'm trading on this channel. But for now, I'm kind of in a holding pattern, and I've talked about this a few times. I've slowed down my purchases. I'm only buying a 1/4 ounce of gold at a time, a lot less frequently, instead of buying a full ounce. Now, I will go back into ounces when I feel like the pullback and the timing is right. And I'm slowing down my silver as well, even though I think silver seems to be an okay buy right now. I'd like to see it pull back a little bit more before I really bought hard. But I haven't stopped. I'm still consistently buying my 1 ounce of silver per week. So I hope some of that made sense. Going through charts, I thought right now would be an appropriate time to look back to 2007, because 3, 4, 5, 6 months from now, I feel like I'll be able to point back at this video and see, I told you gold was about to go. And that's what I'm saying. I think gold has some room to move still. Of course, you can never predict the future. There's too many different things going on, and I reserve the right to change my strategy. But those are my thoughts, guys. I always like to do a review in my videos, and today I'm holding up this very interesting Congo silverback gorilla. Now, this is a coin I never thought I would buy. It's actually quite cool. It's got this sort of geometry-based, polygon-based ape, and including the background. And then for whatever reason, they decided that the plants could be legit. The plants are normal. Everything else is not. I don't know why. I don't understand the design, but I think they were trying to just jump on the silver squeeze bandwagon. If you guys remember in the silver squeeze, and you saw this in a lot of cryptos too, the whole apes thing, and I just think it's cool. I know I've reviewed this coin before, but it seemed appropriate for the conversation I wanted to have, so I thought I'd go ahead and look at it. And you know what? This one's not in the greatest condition. I feel like we've got some scratches on the front of the ape, but that makes it nice because I don't have to feel bad holding onto it. And of course, this is Republic de Congo, which for some reason they're still French. I don't know. I don't think they're under the French influence anymore, but they just held on to it. It's kind of a cool crest, I got to admit. You've got this sort of lion with dual elephants. And okay, we got to really zoom in. I got to see what this says on here. Time to get out the magnifying glass because I cannot tell what that says at all. Even with my naked eye, it's difficult. Definitely says travail at the bottom. I don't know, it's probably French anyway, so even if I could read it. Okay, so with my naked eye and the magnifying glass, I couldn't even read it with the naked eye, but with the magnifying glass added in, I was able to see that it says something about progress and travail and freedom or something. I don't really know. Not my expertise, but I do think it's a cool coin. And I think it's just time to get rid of one of these other coins. They've all been out here for too long. We got to change things up. Kookaburra's got to go. I really like the Kookaburra better. I'm not saying the ape coin is better than the Kookaburra coin, but at some point, you just got to change things up. So we're going to go ahead and plop this guy in here and take one last look at this beautiful Kookaburra while I close things out. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I've been getting a lot of views. Some videos are hits, some are not, but I appreciate everyone who's here and everyone who comments every time. If you enjoyed this video and you want to leave me a comment but you have nothing to say, feel free. The code word will be ape, and I genuinely appreciate it. You can always leave me a thumbs up. Let me know how I can improve. That's going to be the end of this one, guys. This has been The Anecdotal Economist. That's my 2 ounces worth. Remember, I'm pulling for you, and we're all in this together.
Kilogram, you're the dragon, you're the rabbit.
Okay, let's look at the money side now. Watch as I pull this bad boy out of here. Absolutely stunning once you get it out of the case. Feeling the weight of this in my hand. Oh, that's such a good feeling.
I never had enough gold.